Hey y'all, we are back and we have another grant. This grant opportunity is for $5,000. And if you read the title or saw the thumbnail, no business is required. So no LLC, no corporation, no nothing, okay? Everybody is eligible to apply. As always, if you get anything of value out of this video, beginning, middle, end, like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Turn your notification bell because we do not want you missing these deadlines. And, some of these deadlines are short, but if that bell goes off, come right on here and sign up. Check out the Small Business Grant playlist. And I know I say this every video, there are several opportunities there that you might be missing. And there's a few no deadline grants in there as well. If you would like to support the channel, come on over to the Patreon. Let's quickly go in there so you can see what I post. Well, sort of. Now, this is the Patreon. As you see, the stuff is locked, but it will become unlocked once you become a member. I post various grants that are not posted on YouTube. We have this $5,000 grant. We got another $5,000 grant. There's different opportunities for nonprofits. I post cohorts. I let you know when videos are dropping here, but I just want to briefly go in there. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Click the link in the description. I know y'all want to support the channel, so come on over there. It's minimal. And I am so excited to let you all know that I have finally published my ebook on the ultimate guide to small business grants. And in this book, as you can see, it's content. It is not fluff. It's not a bunch of pictures. It is 30 pages of content. There is information on what to consider when applying for your grant, what happens if you don't get the grant, some places you can find grant, there's resources, and there's going to be a discount code in the description box. So use that and get a little bit more money off of my introductory price. It's going to be on the website, longevitybc.com. Now that we're done with all of that, let's get into this grant. Okay, y'all. When I read this grant, I'm like, okay, something got to be wrong here because you're just going to give out this money for an idea. And when I say literally an idea, and they say specifically that even if you haven't even mapped anything out, it could be that something has been just spinning your head and you're like, man, I wish I can change this. What they do is they give you up to $5,000 to test your idea. And get this. If your idea is not a viable idea after you do your testing, it doesn't even matter because the goal of this cohort program is for you to test these ideas. Of course, y'all know the key thing that they look for is that the idea is innovative. So it needs to be an innovative idea. Now, I looked at some of the samples that they said they got in the past, which weren't innovative ideas in my opinion, but remember y'all, I ain't giving you the money, so it only matters what they think because they control the purse. Okay, but what I will say is I personally, me applying, I would focus primarily on innovative solutions to a common problem if your problem is a common problem. A prime example that they gave, which I thought, I see this a lot, and access to networking for Black professionals was one of them. Access to fresh food. So I know I've mentioned in several of my grant videos about food deserts and how you could potentially apply for a grant in an area where you want to then use the funds to create a community garden. So for me, I don't think access to fresh food is an innovative idea because there's so much research and articles that have been written on food deserts and what that looks like in vulnerable communities. They typically do not have access to grocery stores. So they're going to their local corner store, which is not going to have fresh vegetables. They're not going to have fresh fruits. Yeah, I saw that. Fresh fruits. So I don't think that that's innovative, but I think how you solve that problem can be innovative. Some other ideas they talked about, which I think this one is a gold mine. And again, not innovative in my opinion, but for this small business grant opportunities, they talked about non-college career path for high school students. And back when I was going, in high school, definitely wasn't conversations about being an entrepreneur. There was no social media. We didn't have internet. We didn't have computers. So it's a little different, today. But I also feel like there is that conversation that is happening more. So if you think about, okay, how can I test an idea that will give high school students access to the non-traditional route of going to college? And it could be that they go to trade school, which trade school isn't a new thing. I think trade schools were not as glamorized as they are today. It wasn't considered, as they say, like the sexy work of going to college. But now you think about a carpenter, or you think about somebody that does heating and cooling, and they're making more money than somebody who is, working 40, 50 hours a week, and they're paying off student loans. But with the trade school, they were able to essentially get on the job training. Companies are willing to pay for you to go to school as long as you agree to, work for them for a year or two. So they leave with no debt. And now they're making well over six figures. So that's a suggestion. And then another suggestion that they talked about is small businesses not participating in digital economy. Now, what I will say, these ideas have already been submitted. These are past ideas. So this isn't them saying, oh, this is something we're thinking about. But if this is something that you have been thinking about, as I've said earlier, focus on how do you solve this problem in an innovative way. They also, similar to everything else, they want you to be concise. They want it to seem feasible. So you can't say, I've thought about how can I actually meet a unicorn, or how can I get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? That's probably not going to be feasible. It's a great idea of how do I make this happen. I still want ideas that can be tested. That's the main thing. Can your idea be tested? The deadline for this grant is midnight on May the 22nd. Midnight, May the 22nd. I didn't find a lot of parameters. They even said they don't care about your job title. They don't care about what your business is doing. If you do have a business, if you don't have a business, you do not have to have any planning to start. The only thing that they require is you need a problem that you care about, and an idea on how to address that problem. So something that you care about, that is a problem that you want to see solved, and then how do you plan to solve that problem? Everything else does not matter. So this is one of those grants where you do not even have to worry about comparing. You don't have to worry about comparing yourself to the next person. This is literally, I'm sitting on my couch, I'm watching television, I'm like, man, how come nobody's ever thought about it this way? This is your opportunity, Mr. or Mrs. I never thought about it this way. Apply for this grant. In the application, less than 10 minutes. I don't know what's going on with these shorter applications, but again, do the application if you have an idea. They will notify winners on May the 26th. And then you will do a cohort that is going to start on June the 15th, that ends on September the 7th. And your first 45 days, you will need to commit up to 3 hours a week. The following 45 days, you'll commit 3 to 5 hours a week. And all of this stuff is mandatory, which is why they're putting it out here now, because they want to make sure that you sign up, you get approved, and then you're like, oh, I don't have time to test the idea. And then also, during the testing, when you're meeting with the cohort, it's going to be virtual. There might be an opportunity for in-person, but I'm going to, gamble, which I don't do, that is likely not going to be any in-person requirements for this grant. And then, as I said earlier, if at the end of the testing, your idea is not a viable idea, you decide that, this ain't gonna work. They're fine with that. You still get to, join the other alumni and in this, I think it's a private group. I don't know where it's, hosted at, but it's a private group where you all can still, bounce ideas off of each other. You have to make sure that your idea is scalable. That's it. Think it through, but remember, they are not requiring it to actually work. With all of that, let's go over to this grant. Okay, y'all, this grant is sponsored by Builders and Backers, or Builders Plus Backers Idea Accelerator. So as I say in all of the other videos, Google Builders Plus Backers, Builders and Backers Idea Accelerator, and it's going to get you right here. And if you've got anything and you want to help this channel out, like, comment, all of that, because the algorithm wants it. So let's scroll through here. I read everything. You can scroll through all of the information. I highly, highly recommend reading it, because my interpretation, just like I said, I don't think the ideas are innovative. I think what needs to be innovative is the solution. But again, they're seeing innovative a little bit differently. So again, read everything, but remember, they hold the money. So they have various regions that are going to be eligible. In these regions, it's the Delta region, West Tennessee, Northwest Arkansas, Eastern Shawnee Tribe, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Detroit, Michigan, and then Montgomery, Alabama. And most of the information that I gathered came from reading the FAQ FAQ section, which is listed down here. And then once you click, let's get started, we'll apply for the grant. Some of the stuff they're going to require me to answer in order for us to move forward. I highly recommend watching this video. It gives you a little bit more intel on what they're looking for. And then we're going to start the application. They held my information, which I didn't think they would. So hooray. This is just background information, your name, your email address. Also, I completely forgot. I am almost at 15,000 subscribers, y'all. And I have not done a live Q&A since I hit 10,000. And once I hit 15,000, I'm going to do a live Q&A on YouTube. So if you have any burning questions that you would like me to answer about grants or anything, if you have questions about me, you can send that to hello@longevitybc.com. I'm going to compile all the questions. I'll answer as many of the pre-provided questions on YouTube within that hour. I'll try to get to as many live questions if I have any during that time, as well as if there's any super chats, I'll get to those first. But I can't say when it's going to happen, because I don't know when I'm going to hit 15,000. Let's continue. Mailing address. None of this stuff is real information, y'all. You know, the phone number is from a song, so please don't dial these numbers and use these addresses that do not exist. And then the community, I just selected one. And then these I didn't answer, but we can think through them now. So it says, what is the problem you are focused on? What is the problem your idea is aimed at solving? So for myself, what I'm trying to solve is access to legitimate, keyword legitimate, capital for small business, startup companies, entrepreneurs, etc., because there's a lot of scams going on. And, you know, they'll talk about small business grants and say, oh, reach out to me and it's guaranteed. So I want to make sure that individuals are not unnecessarily getting scammed because of social media. And then why does the problem exist and why aren't there good solutions today? And I would say that the problem exists because a lot of people are wanting to get their business off the ground expeditiously, and they don't have the financial backing to do that. So therefore, they turn to social media, they turn to different outlets that say that they can help them. And because they're in this space of, I'm going to say desperation, because otherwise I think we would take a step back and we will pause a little bit when individuals say, I can guarantee you a result, give me $50. And then you pay the $50 and you never hear from them. But again, it's a mind shift. So we have to shift from, you know, that lack mindset and just abundance is my thought process. And then in what ways is your idea new or novel? I wholeheartedly feel like my idea is newer. I can't say I'm the first because I haven't looked at every possible video that exists on YouTube, but I have not, prior to me hopping onto YouTube, saw individuals that were doing grant walkthrough videos, which is literally empowering individuals. And then optional idea background, you can do a video. You know what I say? If they're allowing it, do it. So do a short, brief video. I've always, you know, said 3 minutes or less in these instances, because they're going to give you that opportunity to do yet another video on the next page. And then if you're working with anyone else on this idea, I put no. You could have a team, so you could put yes. And then getting to know you. Why are you interested in joining the Idea Accelerator? Me personally, I do brainstorm better in groups because I'm able to bounce the ideas and get information. And then also just having that like-minded energy around you, I feel it actually propels your idea, and it just puts you in this space of like thinking and sharing, and they'll be able to assist you with moving that idea further because they're going to see things that you haven't seen, which is the goal of any type of think tank. And then anything else that you would like us to know or consider with your application, you should always tell them something. In my previous grant video, I discussed just my passion behind why I'm doing what I'm doing, or something that I might have experienced years ago that has gotten me to this point. Personalize the message here. Let them in on who you are as an individual. Get out of the, professional answer and talking about your business. This is speaking from the heart so they can view you, the applicant, as a person versus just an applicant. And then how did you hear about this? You're going to put Money Time with Ebony D on ESQ YouTube channel, because maybe they'll come here and say, oh, let's tell her about these other grants. And then I start posting exclusive grants that are out there that, everybody don't have access to. And then personal background video, again, 3 minutes or less. I highly recommend giving them a video since they're allowing you to do that. And then your social media. Do you have a website? I selected no. Obviously, I do. My website is www.longevitybc.com. So if you click yes, you'll give them that information, and then share links to them about any social media account. So LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I do appreciate the fact that they ask you, are there any additional social media accounts? Because most don't. And as I said, I'm a Facebook person. So being able to add Facebook here, being able to add YouTube here, so they can see if I don't have a strong following on Instagram, they'll see, oh, my target market is actually on Facebook versus being on Instagram or Twitter. And then your demographics, so you're going to tell them your gender, race, ethnic categories, if you identify as any of these, so military vet, etc. And then you're certifying that you're 18 years of age or older. And that is the application. You have a $5,000 for individuals that don't even have to have a business, don't have to have a plan. Well, a little bit of a plan to say, this is how I'm going to solve the problem. So if you got anything of value out of this video, like, share, comment, subscribe, turn on that bell. Get the ebook so, you can go a little bit more deeper into applying for grants and what that look like. Check out the Small Business Grant playlist. And as always, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for spending time with me virtually. I want to thank you for supporting the channel. And wherever you are in the world, I hope that you are having a beautiful day. And I will see y'all next time.